What the hell are the Atlanta Falcons doing? All right, listen, man. Sunday Night Football here in the DMV. Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Commanders. And somehow, some way, the Washington Commanders let the Falcons come back in this game when the defense couldn't catch a fish, couldn't do nothing, couldn't catch a cold. The defense couldn't do nothing. They tried, and the Commanders let the Falcons come in. Come back with Michael Penix Jr. having a legacy drive where he drives all the way down the field with a lot of help. Has coaching malpractice number one happened when when they had a wildcat situation. The center snaps the ball way over Bijan Robinson's head, like 30 yards back. Bijan gets the ball. And he's also lefty, if I'm not mistaken. So you could have just threw the ball away because he's out of the pocket by then. He tries to run it, and it gets lost for like 40. It was like something crazy. It was like second and goal at like the 35-yard line or something like that. It's just crazy. But Michael Penix Jr. Goes and throws a rope on like fourth and goal or something to Kyle Pitts. And here's the thing. One, you made the switch to Michael Penix Jr. You believe in the young guy. Let him go make a play. Put the game in his hands. Stop with this wildcat ball. They did the play because it worked earlier in the game, but they know what you're doing. They know Bijan Robinson's not going to take a direct snap and throw a fade to Michael Penix Jr. on the right corner. That's stupid. That's not happening. Especially because he was covered by a cornerback the entire time. Or he would have been. Put the ball in Michael Penix Jr.'s hands and good things will happen. You have to live and die by this. This is a perfect learning situation. There is no other high pressure situation than this because this had major playoff implications for these two teams who played, also the Rams and the Seahawks, and obviously the Buccaneers. So this is Atlanta blew their chance. This was their chance, and they probably blew off their playoff wishes goodbye as well, because the Buccaneers are red hot. Baker Mayfield was playing amazing max contract football without Chris Godwin in the lineup. And obviously they still have Mike Evans, but you know what I mean. And Tampa's defense is doing good stuff too. And it's just crazy to me that Atlanta continues to do this. Because even when they should have won this game, man. Because the Commanders did everything they could to give the Falcons a chance to win this game. And the Falcons was like, nah, we're good. Because the biggest coaching malpractice that I hate seeing week in and week out, the Bears did the same thing on Thanksgiving. Clock management issues, especially in regards to timeouts. Use your timeouts. You can't carry it over to overtime. You can't carry it over to the next game. Use your timeouts, bro. They had 2 timeouts. They stopped the Commanders, and they got a huge gain, and there was 30 seconds left on the clock. The next snap did not happen until they had 17 seconds on the clock. They burned so much time. And then because of that, they had a play where there's only they had basically to rush the play where the kicker went and missed the field goal, where it was like 7 seconds left. And it's just like, what was the point? It was it wasn't for that lucky pass interference call, which they targeted him on purpose. It was, there's a reason why they threw it that direction. But still, it wasn't for that pass interference call. It just would have been a huge blunder. And when it comes to these NFL overtime rules, it's really if you know all game your defense couldn't stop this Commanders team. The Commanders, there was that point where they commanded the entire clock, bro. They had like 15, 16 minutes out there. Like, I'm pretty sure the Commanders received the ball to begin the second half, and the Falcons only had one possession in the third quarter. Only one, and it lasted like a minute and a half, probably. Like, not a minute and a half. It lasted like 3 minutes max. And then the Falcons didn't touch the ball until like midway through the fourth or something. It was freaking crazy, bro. So your defense can't stop these guys. So basically, whoever won that toss, because the Falcons were starting to pick up steam, but they're a lot more inaccurate than what the Commanders are doing. Whoever won that toss was probably going to win that game. And so that's why you can't even let it come to that. The Falcons had an opportunity to get closer and closer, do some things. They could have ran like 6 plays, man. They only ran 2 because they had 2 timeouts and refused to use any of them to stop the clock. 30 seconds. You went from 50 to 30 seconds and went to the opposite to Washington side of the field in about 20 seconds with 2 timeouts, and you just wasted them. You let the clock run down to 17 seconds before you gave a shit. And I hate that. Because I hate that. No one on the sideline except the head coach, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFL, no one on the sideline except the head coach can call timeout. I'm not even a Falcons fan. I'm not a fan of either of these teams. I just am a huge fan of Michael Penix Jr. I really believe in him and his play. And I just hate to see this, man. I hate to see that we got a good Kyle Pitts game, a pretty good Kyle Pitts game, especially from what happened last game. Or was the last game with the interception, the toss-up interception that he did. And it's just like, and for that touchdown catch of Kyle Pitts to be Michael Penix Jr.'s first TD in the league, it was supposed to be special, man. The writing was there, and the Falcons just punted the game and their playoff hopes away. And I hate that. I really hate that. Where do the Falcons go from here? Because I'm writing them off. I'm sorry, Falcons fans. I'm writing you off. I don't think you don't control your own destiny anymore, and Tampa's too hot. I think it's over. Assuming you don't make the playoffs, where do you go from here? Michael Penix Jr. needs to be your starting quarterback, obviously. He should have been starting week 1. If you were going to get him, you should have never got Kirk Cousins because it did nothing. A man playing on one ACL did nothing for Michael Penix Jr.'s growth. I'm sorry. Because what I'm seeing on the field, I can't imagine Kirk Cousins was the biggest influence on that. I think the dude has a lot of college experience playing football, and there's a good team around him, and he should have started week 1 to get acclimated to this offense, and I think he would have been pretty solid. But the head coach, Raheem, you got to clean it up, man. You've got to clean it up. Your quarterback and your team need a better head coach. Like not better head coach. They need a better version of you. They need you, but a better version. You have to be better next season. Because it's not just this game. There are some real weird play calling and coaching decisions where the head coach needs to either override or needs to do better himself. I'm not seeing good head coaching from you. I'm just not. The record's cool, but it shouldn't have even come to this. And a couple of these games, obviously Kirk Cousins having 1 touchdown and like 9 or 10 interceptions in a particular stretch, like week 10 and week 15 or something like that, was insane. But that's the reason why this whole quarterback situation should have happened in the first place. And that could be also the GM. I'm also blaming the GM for that. But I just don't like what I'm seeing right now. And I'm just I hate Fugazi play, bro. And that was just Fugazi. What they did was so stupid. But shout out to the Commanders. The DMV's popping. Commanders and Ravens are going to be in the playoffs. That's going to be crazy. We'll see if they can make some noise, and we'll see who the Commanders are facing. I think it's the Eagles. I think they're locked in to face the Eagles. Not positive on that. But if so, that's going to be a really interesting game in Philly. Because the Eagles messed up last week, and now they can't get the first seed. So it's between the battle for the first seed is the battle of also the NFC North title at the same time, I believe, which is against the Lions and the Vikings. Who would have thought Sam Darnold would be in the position he's in? But good for him, man. Him and Baker, good for them. Good for them, man. Went to a bunch of poverty franchises. Now they're at where they're at with some great all-pro receivers in Mike Evans and Justin Jefferson. Sam Darnold teared it up today, by the way. He teared it up. That Packers game was really cool. The fact they got that close was really stupid because they had Sam Darnold doing throwing some really complicated plays and run the ball, screen passes. But no, they should have done that. But no, they had him making some tough layered throws, some sideline throws. It was like, bro, what are y'all doing? Run the clock. Run the clock. Green Bay has too many explosive players to be giving them chances like that. Yeah, Atlanta, clean it up. Atlanta Falcon fans, or just people in general who saw the game, what are your opinions on Michael Penix Jr. after 2 games? I know it was only 2 games. I like what I see. I really like what I see. He had a really high pressure situation, and I think he delivered. And it's just unfortunate with the NFL rules, he just never got the ball back. Commander fans, tell me down below what you're thinking. Are you excited about this playoff push? What do you think about your playoff matchups? And just how excited are you, man, to finally be back in the postseason? I know that must feel really, really good. So comment, like, subscribe, and share. We're almost to 100 subscribers, so that's really, really amazing. Love y'all to pieces. See you on the next one. Peace.